So I'm going to install this Fireball shooter rod in the Stern Kiss pinball machine. It's a pretty easy install to do. I've got the machine already turned off. I just open this up, I'll get ready to raise the playfield. First I'll release the lock bar. Close the coin door so I can take the glass out without scratching it. Lift the playfield up. I think it's possible to remove it with just lifting the playfield this far, but I think we get better visualization if I lift the playfield all the way. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the balls. Just push the plunger here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all 6 balls for this game. Now I can lift this fully. Now we've got a good look at the shooter rod, if you can come around from the other side here. So you see here we have a shooter rod that's plastic, similar to what we'd see on the stock game. We've got the barrel spring, we have a washer, then the shooter rod housing. Then on the inside of the machine we have another washer here, a spring, the final washer, and then the clip that holds the thing in, followed by the rubber stopper. So if we want to remove the clip, so to do that, you pull back the spring and the washer. Now the ideal tool to do this is one of these clip ring removers. Not everybody has that, so you can also do it with a small screwdriver, just pushing it in here and pulling it out. I'll go ahead and use the clip ring remover, so just push this in here. Now I'm going to spread and just take it off. I'll set this in a safe place. So now it's still, all that's holding it on at this point is the rubber tip. So the rubber tip, you can just pull it off. It can be a little bit tricky to do that. So I'm just going to put some pressure back here and sort of carefully hold this and pull the rod out of the tip. So there, I'm almost out, so I'll just do the rest of it by hand. So now I've pulled the rubber tip off. I'll put that down here safely. So then washer, the spring, the other washer here. So now the shooter rod just comes out. Here's my new one. So I'll take this washer and barrel spring off and put it on the new shooter rod here. So now just put this back in like this. Now I'll put the washer back here against the shooter rod housing. The spring, you kind of got to hold this with one hand, otherwise it's going to go flying. One more spring, or one more washer. Then the clip, you can usually just push this on as I did. Now it's going to stay on there. Just put the rubber tip on. It's all ready to play. For this, I'm going to replace the shooter rod housing with one that better matches the other powder coating on the machine. Here, this is a stock Stern housing with its black matte finish. See, we've replaced the legs, the sidebars, the lock bar, all with this nice powder coat, which is also on our Fireball shooter rod. So I'd like to take this housing out. So to do that, if I look at the other side of the housing, I see here there's actually 5 screws. There's these larger Phillips head screws, and then there's these 1/4-inch red screws. These 1/4-inch screws actually hold this plate to the cabinet, and those don't need to be removed. So we're just going to remove these larger Phillips head screws here. Remove this one. I'll put each screw has a little, you see it's a little machine screw with a little lock washer on it. So I'm going to just set this here for now. The most difficult one to remove is this one here. It's close to the wall, so I'll go ahead and do that now. I think it's best not to save that one for last. Kind of have to hold the shooter rod while I'm doing that. So that's that one. I've got one more here at the bottom. out now. So then this just comes straight out like this. So I've got the whole assembly here. Now once again, we can take this apart. Now I want to replace it with this one here. Set this down here again. So again, I want to remove the clip here. So to do that, I'm going to pull the spring back. It comes off very easily with this. Then I can pull this rubber part off. Careful to hold everything together here, so I'll put it here in order. So you can see and then the barrel spring's still on here. So I just want to replace this part here. Together. Put it back on. And then this just goes back on here. The screws can be replaced and we're done.